really enjoyed my time with him. I mean, we loved each other and everything. I just think that it came to a point where he's like, okay, like I need to have kids, you know, and I need someone to settle down with. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I'm not there yet, you know, like I still have a lot in me.
But can I ask why? Because a 10-year age gap, to me, that would be ideal. If I was looking for a woman to settle down with, I'm 32. By the time I get to 33, 34, I'd like a woman about 10 years younger than me to settle down with. Why do you think that's not a good match or a good idea right now?
My early 20s was way too young. I mean, gosh, I can't even take care of myself, let alone take care of somebody else. I'm just not, I just wasn't at a spot, and I still am not at a spot where I can settle down and like get married. Like I like my personal space respected, and I just like to finish a couple things in my life before I, you know, get the ball rolling in marriage and whatnot. Like my ideal age would be my late 20s, early 30s to get married. And I think that comes with like here, the way lifestyle is. I know in Europe, like people get married a lot younger, and they decide to have kids a lot younger and whatnot. But here and I'm sure you know this, I mean, you were born here. Early 30s is like typically when you get married and you have children. So that's like my ideal timeline.
Yeah. I don't know. In my opinion, I think the American way is a little bit. It is too late for women. I know. I'll be perfectly honest. I think it is too late for women in the United States. I meet women here who are, I don't know, 19, 20, and I say, "Oh, what do you want to do with your life?" And they'll say something that American women detest. They'll be like, "Oh, I want to get married and have children," which I think is a beautiful, wonderful goal for life for young women to want to be. If they want to get married and have a beautiful family, I don't see anything wrong with that. Whereas when I speak to people like my sister, who never left the United States, she's your age, lives in America. She's
Really?
older than I'm a little bit older than you. I think she's a lawyer actually. But when I tell her things like that, she's like, "Oh,
I don't even know."
yeah, I'm telling you." So she'll be like, "Oh, that's wrong. Women should women should want a career and women should want this."
Yes, that's how I think.
Yeah,
like make something of yourself. I just can't stay in the house and do the cooking and cleaning. Like it drives me nuts. Like I need to have something of my own and build myself, because at that point I feel like I'm a submissive partner depending on somebody else, and I can't do that.
You know, but my point is this. I was recently at my grandmother's birthday. She was in Alabama. She was 90 years old. This was 1 year ago. She was turning 90, so I flew all the way from Romania, changed in London to Atlanta, and I rented a car and drove all the way to some redneck town in the middle of Alabama to see my grandmother. She hadn't seen me in like 10 years. So when I got there, so typically in the United States, this whole let's get married at 30 and have kids after our career, this is new. This wasn't the United States of the 1940s and 60s. It really wasn't. So my grandmother, I was standing around this room. She had 9 kids, about 30 grandkids, and another 15 great-grandkids, and 1 or 2 great-great-grandkids in this massive room full of people.
Wow.
And I was standing around, and everyone was, you know, hugging her and telling stories about her and telling all these beautiful things. And I thought, you know, this is, to me, that's a woman's life fulfilled, more so than a woman who, you know, worked in this career or that career. I don't even know what job my grandma ever did. I don't even know what career she ever had, but there were no mentions of it come the end of her life when we were in that big room full of people. She was just looking around at all the life that she created, and she had the biggest smile on her face I can ever remember seeing any woman have. And I treat women very nicely, so that's a very big that's a very big compliment. So, you know, I think that this idea, certainly in the minds of Western women, and you are, for all intents and purposes, an American woman. An American woman. I just don't think it's that beneficial to women or men or to anything or anybody.